Hi everyone, I am very happy to be able to share with you one of my most profound moments in my life that changed me forever. There are 7 tapes you will be listening to. Welcome to Tape 4, the surgery that changed everything. You are now hearing the voice clone of Oriah Mirza. What you're about to experience is not a metaphor. This is my real story, a direct account of what happened to me beyond memory, beyond logic, beyond what most would even believe. If you haven't already listened to tapes 1 through 3, I urge you to go back. Those chapters lay the foundation. My life, my father, the moment in Paris. It's all connected. And now, we step into the moment everything changed. We've just returned from Paris. I was exhausted, completely drained from what happened there, and I slept the entire journey home. When I opened my eyes again, we were back in Marina del Rey, California, our sanctuary, our safe space. But something was different. And what came next was unlike anything I could have ever imagined. We were home for a couple of hours, and I was walking into the hallway toward our bedroom. It was like getting a phone call. That's how clear it was. I got a message in my head telepathically. It came from the same alien that had been in me before. I recognized the feeling immediately. It said there was going to be another visitation. I stopped in my tracks and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It continued. The message told me to prepare for the visit and not to be alarmed. That there would be a type of surgery, although they didn't use that exact word. There would be some kind of physical interaction. But again, not to be alarmed. They were going to do it that night at 7:30 p.m. It was around 3:15 in the afternoon. I turned to my fiancé who was sitting on the couch. I said to him, I just heard somebody, I think it was that alien, tell me they're coming to see me at 7:30 to be ready and to just go lie down in the bed. He tuned in psychically to feel whether it was a benevolent being. He got the green light that it was. He said, yes, this is something in your soul contract, something you've worked out with them. So you have to do it. He didn't feel it was negative. He told me that if it were, he would step in and try to abort the situation. At 7:30, I lay down automatically, like my body was on autopilot. I'd considered leaving the house. I really didn't want this to happen, but I knew that would just prolong it. At this time in my life, I was going through a brutal custody battle. I had 2 beautiful little girls from a prior marriage. It was heartbreaking. And I was struggling with health issues. I was already doing a lot of bed rest anyway. Deep down, I wondered, maybe this would help me heal. Maybe it had something to do with my trauma, my anxiety. Maybe this was help. I didn't know for sure. I had never really encountered aliens before. Not that I remembered. I didn't know why they were talking to me or why I needed to lie down at 7:30. But I lay down, nervous. I stayed on top of the covers. My husband was in the other room. 7:30 was getting close. I felt the tension rising inside me. I didn't want to go through with it, but I also didn't know how to stop it. Then for some reason, he walked into the bedroom quietly. Without saying a word, he lay down next to me. We both lay very still. My arms were at my sides, legs straight. I closed my eyes and waited. And sure enough, a face appeared. A giant alien face. My eyes were still closed, but I could see him in my third eye, in my psychic sight. This was not like the aliens I'd seen in images before. Small, smooth, gray. This one was massive. Elderly. His face had thousands of tiny cracks, as if weathered by time and space, as if ancient. At some point, I opened my physical eyes. My vision felt glossy, wet, like I was seeing through water or through dimensions. Now I could see his face hovering just above mine, just the face and neck. It must have been 10 feet tall from top to bottom, 5 feet wide, a massive 3D presence. He looked like a medicine man, a wisdom teacher, an elder, and he was staring down at me like I was a bug That's how small I felt, like a bug under a microscope. But his gaze wasn't cruel. It was full of ancient knowing, a quiet depth, something that my human mind could barely process, but my soul could feel. He was powerful, wise, and somehow peaceful. Still, I was afraid. Then I saw his hand. A long, crooked finger, gray-green, the same hue as his skin. He raised it and touched my forehead. I don't know if I was lying down or sitting up, but I felt my head push back as if I'd tried to get up, and he pressed me back down, and then I was gone. I went under. I was no longer in the room, but also still there. It was like my consciousness split between two dimensions. I've since learned this happens in interdimensional experiences. Half the room remains 3D, your bed, your dresser, and the other half bleeds into something else, another place, eyes wide open. But in another realm, that's what happened to me. I was in a vast, round, white space. Was this a room? Not exactly. It was illuminated, glowing, endless. To my right, far off in the distance, I saw the same type of tall alien I had just seen, but farther away. And next to him stood a man, a human. He looked ordinary, about 6 feet tall, dark, short hair, casual clothes, shorts and a t-shirt. His face blank, like he didn't know what was happening, like he was sleepwalking. He looked like he was being used, like a guinea pig, maybe just to show me something, a demonstration. He looked at the alien. Then the alien extended his right hand and a tray materialized. A thin metallic surgical tray, shiny silver. They both stared into it. I felt an instant wave of unease. Why am I seeing this? What does this have to do with me? And then it hit me. This was for me. A message, a warning, a reveal. I couldn't feel my human body at all, but my spirit began to panic. The alien spoke telepathically. Look. And he tilted the tray toward me. It zoomed in, somehow, or maybe we zoomed toward each other all at once. And I saw it, golden orange, amber, gelatinous, inside the tray, speckled with tiny pinpricks of light. And inside that gel was an eye. Yes, a human eyeball. Not loose, not floating. It was surgically cut out of a face, still surrounded by the eyelid, the eyebrow, the full socket. I knew it belonged to the man, and now I saw his right eye was gone, a black void where it had been. The eye in the tray was moving, blinking, alive. I wanted to look away, but I couldn't. It was horrifying and fascinating. I thought maybe this is how a caveman would react to seeing a prosthetic limb. There was no pain in the man. He didn't seem aware of what had been done. But that gel, that amber substance, it was alive. It was keeping the eye alive. It was intelligent. I froze. This alien was trying to show me something vital. This gel was for me. He told me telepathically that it would help me, that I didn't need to be afraid. Still, I started to panic. I tried to pull back inside myself. I didn't know where to run. That's when things accelerated. A new scene appeared beside me. A massive vat, 20 feet tall, wide enough to hold a human body. I was still in the other realm, but I could sense my bed. I was in my room, my fiancé lying next to me, and I knew they were going to put me in it, not just a part of me, my whole body. And they did, head first. I was lifted, somehow. Not physically, but completely. The gel touched my face, my nostrils, my eyes, my ears, my mouth. It slid down my throat. I choked. I couldn't breathe. I thought I would die. They had to do it fast. There was no other way. I felt my body convulsing, not just spiritually. My physical body was flopping on the bed like a fish out of water. I tried to call to Riz. I tried to scream. I was gurgling, choking, sliding off the bed. And then I heard him, his voice. This is benevolent. It is all right. You'll be okay. It's for your highest good. 3 times, but I didn't know if it was him anymore. I didn't know if he was conscious. or being used as a conduit. He wasn't going to stop this. I was alone and I just wanted to die, to surrender. My brain, my psyche, everything inside me couldn't take it anymore. I was done. And then I felt something at the base of my skull. The ancient alien, the one with the cracked face, was behind me. There were others with him, smaller. And then I felt it. Wetness, pressure. They were opening the back of my head near the top of my spine. I couldn't see them, but I knew they were performing something. And then somehow I left my body. I could see myself from the side, from above, from somewhere else. What I saw next, I will never forget. And what I say next will be hard to believe. Tape 4 has ended. After that night, I would never see the world or myself the same way again. Let's go even deeper now. Let's go. Inom nas kornbar